wow, this is how tired I am. Wow. Okay. I did not even do my social medias today. That's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Hello, lovelies. I am your host, Mama Maggie Ward, independent author, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer, and one of the more prolific authors you've never heard of. And today, on Breaking the Block, we are having the lovely Sako Toomey, and artist and author extraordinaire. And hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Have you had your seeds today?
I have, and now I've switched to water. So my day is rolling. Hi, Liz.
Hello, Liz. How are you? Laura is also here. Hello, lovely Laura.
Hi,
welcome,
Laura.
welcome.
One of my favorite authors.
One of the best short form authors I think I know. Literally. She can put you in a state of terror with 100 words.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I've had a stressful 2 weeks since the last Breaking the Block. I was just in the chat making brunch for the middle because it was her 21st birthday. And then this week, going down to see the bio mom, terminal end cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, $1,000 we didn't have, but got to do those end of life things.
Yeah.
Did editing in the car because unfortunately I do not do well with altitude changes, and I especially do not do well at sea level.
Oh.
So yeah, weird thing since my stroke, anytime I get below 1,000, 2,000 feet, it's like my brain just goes, okay, default factory reset, and nothing processes. So yeah.
Oh. Magie EXE no longer working.
Yeah, Magie.exe is not functioning. Please reboot at a higher elevation. Yeah.
I've the shower. I drew today.
Nice.
I was painting a portrait.
Yes, Sako has a Twitch channel that she does a lot of artwork on. You can go and hang with her and watch her work. Okay.
I'm still figuring out a schedule for that.
Yeah, schedule. Yeah.
I also have a Substack where I talk about all my creative endeavors. So under Sako Toomey.
Yeah, I have a Substack too, but I'm not as good at maintaining it as other people. I'm more like, oh yeah, I have a Substack.
Yeah, today between 4:30 and 6:30, I will write my Substack.
Let's see. Can I pull up Sako's Substack? Can I get this? Yes, please. Please, maybe. Please, please. Please be nice to me. There is Sako's Substack right there.
Substack. Thank you very kindly.
You are very welcome. And here is my Substack because, I've got that. My latest article is Shy Girl, the AI witch hunt, and the neurodivergent writing cadence.
Ooh.
Because it seems like everything we do as neurodivergent writers are the tells for AI. And I'm like, I wrote this stuff before there was AI, so blah.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, so I have questions today because the brain is not braining. Where's the question? First question. And I think this is a good question for both of us because we are genre mashers. Like when you look at genres, like old school look at genres, it's like action adventure, which used to be two different things. Um, Romance, fantasy, science fiction,
Mystery.
mystery, horror. Westerns used to be their own genre, and now they've kind of just become they're a less recognized genre.
Yeah.
Can, like lit fic, literary fiction,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
historic
R-
fiction.
RPG lit. Yeah.
Yeah. And there used to be just like 10 like categories. And now there's
And
like
now
30 categories. There's like over 100 subcategories when you click through all the different things. And that's just for fiction. If you pull up nonfiction, then you have this list that goes from everything from aesthetics to zoology, self-help, belief, business models, like anything you want to do as a craft, you can find a sub genre tag for it. If you're going to put up like real books, um, I wrote 2 blogspot posts on my Substack this last week. Nice.
the last one was in 2024. You wrote it in 2024 and you published it now?
I thought about moving my blogspot stuff over to my Substack.
Or she's saying 2024 was the last post until this past week when you wrote 2.
Yeah, I think she's moving her blogspot post from 2024 over to.
No, there's been
Yeah,
a
there's
long gap.
long gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm lucky to get one post up. I'm not like Glory or Rachel where they can get the post up rapidly, like weekly. I'm lucky to get one up a quarter because, and it's honestly, I mean, I'm so busy with everything else. It's like, oh yes, there is this thing that I have. Okay, she says yes, Sako. All right,
I see
questions.
you, girl. I see you.
Yeah,
How do you
all the
decide
things.
which genres and tropes you are using? I kind of pick them up as I go. Because I dabble in horror, you know. My breaking the block, as it were, is I think, what is the worst possible thing that can happen to my main character in this moment? And when I do that, I mean, I put my characters through the wood chipper, you know, so that's the horror element, but the setting and the abilities of the character are gonna alter from piece to piece.
Okay, YouTube just did this weird thing. I don't know what they're doing.
Weird thing.
Yeah, I pick because I mash. I tend to pick the primary genre.
The primary genre first, and then
Yeah,
depending on how you write it.
and then like I'm usually sci-fan tends to be my primary genre, which is science fiction with, and
Fantasy elements, yeah.
I tend to write harder systems. Like there has to be rules. There has to be a consequence. I don't do the HP writer system of magic where the first 4 books teach you the rules and the last 4 books break all the rules.
Yeah.
Now in the books, they're not as bad about breaking the rules until you get to like the last 2, but it's I like those. I like the fact that in Relic of Time War, Daisy will calculate her energy magic conversion to like the last decimal place, and then she'll be like, I think I'm going to faint. And then she does, because she has blasted herself out of literal, like every bit of energy that she has. And it's like, sometimes it just leaves the other character standing there holding Daisy in their arm with the what the F moment. But yeah, and I usually end up doing and like, but I limit myself. I like blending other things. I like blending things. I like fusion foods. I like fusion music. I like fusion fiction. So I will start with a primary genre, and then I will go forward from there. For some reason, YouTube is not letting me put in my favorite hashtag.
Oh, they don't deal with hashtags anymore.
Are they doing this? Nope. They keep putting it up as spam. I bet it's because it's genre slut.
Oh.
And they're like, oh, she used the S. Now they'll let you type the F word. I don't know. I don't know. YouTube just they've gone crazy on some controls and not so crazy on other controls.
Fusion for the win.
Yeah. It's and sometimes I have gone through and removed like I've had like a little side, like started a thread in like some other genre and been like, nope, that's just too much. And I do the same thing with tropes now. And there's a lot of confusion. A lot of people think that like Morally Gray Shadow Daddy is a genre, and it's like, no, that's a trope.
That's a trope.
That's a trope. And it's like, Mary Sue is not a genre. That's a trope.
That's a trope.
But the weird thing is like cozy was a trope that's become a genre.
Yeah.
And you can have like everything can be a cozy. I mean, even horror can be a cozy now, which
it's a book full of dread. I think in horror, cozy horror, it's all dread.
Yeah, I mash too. And identify what genre to call it, but my primaries. Yeah. So, and sometimes it's hard. Fiction. Sometimes it's hard to and especially when you're doing a huge series, because I have like in Relic of Time War, the primary genre is time travel. But there are 3 of the 14 books that have no time travel. Right. They talk about using time energy, but they do not have actual time travel in them. Heather's here. Hello, lovely. Welcome. How is Florida today?
Yay, Heather.
See, I can't make mine do that. I've tried to set that. It doesn't do. Oh well, it's fine. Yeah. But it's why is that? It's and like when you're like in when you finish one project, like I do this thing, like when I finish one project, I don't want to write in that genre. I want to hop to another genre to write, which is why I have so many different kinds of books on my author page. Like if I write a bunch of fantasy stuff, I want to switch to something contemporary, or I want to switch to something more mystery or sci-fi or
But not for
nothing.
long. Oh, is your afternoon gonna be in the 90s and whatnot? Like
I think the high today
down
is going to be
Florida. Ugh.
I think the high today is going to be like 55.
I think it's gonna be the same here.
Yeah, 60. 60, they changed it. It's going to be 60 degrees. We had a cold front come through with
We did.
winds like 80-mile-an-hour winds. It was crazy. It's
Wow. Gonna be 90
90.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Nice. But it's, I mean, for authors that genre hop and or authors that are starting out, like I've seen a lot of things going on in the Reddits and Discords where they're like, I don't know what genre to put my book in.
Yeah.
And because they mash things together, and they're like, I don't know what genre to put this in. Cat Lady
Um,
up here, here's Cat Lady. It's dystopia, it's zombie apocalypse, it's contemporary. And so
I have my current project, which is Borrowed Time. It is a paranormal romance, a vampire sapphic demi thing. And I decided my tropes and my beats and my uh all of that, like what part of the store would your book be in level of marketing before I started writing. And first and foremost, it's a romance. Then it's a horror book. Oop, balloons. Have some balloons.
yeah, I um when I'm genre mashing, I make myself stop. I do the same thing. I'm the same thing Cat Paw is. I know what the genre AA is in. Yeah. I know what my I get this idea for my primary genre. And then I get told by people that no, it's not that genre at all. And I'm like when I was writing Pagosa Cliffs, everybody was like, oh, they're cozies because they're about a girl in a bakery. And I was like,
No.
no, I mean, they are about a girl in a bakery. Anemones is the whole series is about Millie, who is a baker. She is a wedding cake artist who opens a bakery in a small mountain resort town. But
Mm-hmm.
it's also about crime and her escaping the mafia that has held sway over her and her sister, like the
Mm-hmm.
shadow over her life, her whole life. It's about overcoming her trauma as an abuse victim survivor. It's about getting therapy. It's about falling in love with someone who has as much or more baggage as you do, and unfortunately, there's the chemistry is there. But the happy for now, happy ever after is not just because the two types of people they have the chemistry, but the personalities and the baggage means that they're not going to be able to, and they do go on to find happiness with others later, but it's like, cozy Western contemporary romance, they're like this. I fought over and over and over with Amazon trying to stick it in this genre. And then, there was someone who was like, oh, this is urban grim dark. Be-
Uh,
just because of Millie's childhood, they're like, the whole book is urban grim dark. And I'm like, no,
no.
no. So yeah.
Yeah. is
Yeah.
make myself stop at 3 or 4. Yeah.
I do. Literally do. In the blue duet, summon enemies are blue, and then from Pagosa Stars, blue water and blue butterflies. I actually had to fight with Amazon because the second genre is billionaire romance, and it's because the Kyle Hightower, who becomes the romantic lead for Camille Wallace in the blue duology, he's like a billionaire, but they were like, well, he's not the typical billionaire romance billionaire, and I'm like, why? Because he's not a misogynist, because he got therapy, because he's not a Christian Grey billionaire. Hi, Sam. But I literally had to fight with Amazon about the rankings, the classifications for these books.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the typical. It wasn't the typical plan. Sam has come in. Hi, Sam. Ginny has come in. Hey, Ginny. Happy
Hi,
grandbaby.
Ginny. Happy grandbaby.
Oh, Laura's got a good question. How do you know when it's time to switch projects? At what point
Oh.
is it not just chasing the shiny idea? Oh, you're asking the
Oh.
wrong person. I will
So
chase the shiny idea to the Arctic, from the Arctic to the Amazon and back. And no, I set time frames.
me
You
too.
know, most people cannot do that, but I will be like, okay, hard end. I have this thing coming up. So hard break, at the last day of this month, this is when this project has to go on a shelf because I have other things to do.
Um I'm working on 2 books right now. More balloons. Here you go. And the thing that I'm trying this year is to not have a hard deadline. When I finish the book is when the book is finished. I've been very kind to myself regarding my writing and my art and my work, you know.
Yeah, and there's some of them like I feel this because there's like some projects that I want to just run. I just want to run with it, and like I lost the second half of last year after the August 80K, all the words August, because I had to finish Relic of Time War. I had to write the Shadow Hunt, and that one took me twice as long to write as any of the other books in the series. It took me, I mean, after I wrote it, I actually broke my own rule after writing it and immediately went into edit mode with TDM, the dramatic Mara. The middle and I immediately went from writing mode to editing mode on that one because we needed to get it out this year. And yeah, it was, I got nothing done in half of the third quarter last year and all of the fourth quarter last year. Nothing. Nothing nothing from my Kanban board. Nothing was done. All the project list. All the project list. See those? Those just all got carried over from last year because
uh
I had to double down on this project, and there were so many other shiny idea projects, like my vigilante gargoyle queen, who was like clawing at the back of my consciousness to be written.
yeah, I know what you mean.
I'd call time shift urban fantasy or suggested horror, but there's no romance, no $3. Answer. If a new project is hindering you working on your current WIP, yeah, so the novellas wouldn't leave me alone. I wrote them. I told myself I have 5 days for each one hardline. Only you
I'm
can
giving
change.
myself 3 weeks to get my manuscript ready for an editor. And I'm running it through alphas right now. In fact, I need to send a PDF to my alpha reader today.
Yeah, it's when I get shiny idea syndrome. I
I
usually
write
win
it
with writing
down.
a short. I write it down, or my brain won't let go of it,
Ditto.
and that is
Put
a
it in
real
the
thing.
list. Yep.
It ends up in the story seed folder with its 200 brothers and sisters,
Hmm.
and that's where it's going to live until I can get to it.
That's why I love RPGs, because I can write, characters for stories that'll never happen. And I have hundreds of characters that will probably never see the light of day.
Yeah, I've started submitting my shorts to anthologies just to
Yeah.
get them out of my hair so OCD Goldbrain will go, okay, that one's done. And it'll quit trying to take that and turn it into 80,000 words, 100,000 words.
Hmm.
Yeah. Another thing is how many times do you stop revising something?
Four revisions is as far as I go, because at that point, beyond that point, the end product is nothing like the first book, the first revision. So yeah, go with the inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah. And like Sam says, schedules, it depends on the type of personality you have. Sometimes you have to give yourself the wiggle room, like to break and accept that you have to break a schedule. Give
Hmm.
yourself the grace to break the schedule, but don't let that become a crutch to always break the schedule. Like OCD Goldbrain punishes me when I break the schedule. And it's like
Hmm.
it's it's like, nope, you are not going to do this. You are going to uh, obey or get slayed. And
Uh, Sam
and some
mentions one of her revisions is beta feedback, and mine that's draft 3 for me.
um,
Editor editor first,
I
then betas,
I run
then
through a 15-step process before I ever head it off to my betas. And then when it comes back through the betas, I go through it's
first
basically
revision is me
a,
only. Yep.
the alpha readers get it at step 6,
Ah.
and then I finish the other 9 steps, and then the beta readers get it, and then believe it or not, I start back at step 1 and I do it
That
all 15.
sounds like a great Substack post. Just your schedule for
Yeah,
your 15-point self-editing method, and you can put it behind a paywall if you really
yeah.
want to, but um I think a lot of writers would benefit.
See, do I have that?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Heather. I also have a Google Keep that I use for shiny ideas for RPGs.
Yeah, here's let me put the, can I put the link in? There.
Oh. Oh.
Maggie's mindlessness. Yeah, I created this document like a couple of years ago because I did a tutorial stream on this. But yeah, 2 developmental rounds, 1 critique round, 2 rounds of edits, betas, line edits, listening edits. Yeah. Yeah, and I built this process up because my brain, I have memory issues for my brain, so I have to segment and compartmentalize everything to get it going.
I have to find the podcast, but I can't find my subscriptions on the. There it is. Okay. The Chad. Tia Weston. Yeah, I might need a link.
Okay, I've got it in the chat, and I've got it in the.
I can't click the link. That's why I was looking for the YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, and it seems excessive, and I've had people be like, "Are you kidding me?" And it's like, to me, this is how much my editing needs done before anyone else sees it. And usually, alpha readers, it's TDM, it's Mara, it's Katie, it's Glenn. There's like 4 people that see it. John and Dawn, and that's it. No one else. That it doesn't go out to anyone beyond.
Yes.
But it's okay. So I read my book out loud to myself, like literally read it out loud to myself, and then I listen to it out loud in a different voice. So I go through the book twice. I do my own evaluation and I write a new summary for it. Then I do my first grammar pass. Then I do what's called a word consistency pass because I write fantasy and sci fantasy and science fiction. I have weird words, and I have to go through and to make sure that the weird words for things are the same spelling, the same usage throughout. I go through and I literally, step 5 is nameaholic. I call it nameaholic, where I go through and I make sure everyone's name is consistent, is spelled the same way. The nicknames are all the same. Side character names, all of that. Then step 6 is it goes to my little tiny circle. Step 7 is I go through and I start looking for the plot holes and the plot path deviations. And I look at what I originally wrote, compare it to my new summary, and I'm like, okay, this is the new plot. This is where I need to backfill. I just need to dig this out. Step 8 is I go through and and because I do not write in order, I have to have my own step to make sure that the plot line is in order. because I literally wrote a story one time where a scene that refers to something that has not happened yet, because I moved the scene around when I was editing, and that refers to a discussion that happens at a baby shower, but they're talking about it before the baby shower. So I had, I go through and I verify my timeline events. Another thing I
Timeline,
do
yeah.
is
I'm really bad about that.
I have a step for checking my character arcs and checking their personalities, because one of my pet peeves is I'm reading a book and some character does something that is completely not their personality. Now there are points of stress where a character will suddenly do something that is not their normal personality out of stress. Like the meek girl will suddenly just beat the living F out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be to my brain, there has to be a logical progression like that. Like you can't just have the quiet meek girl suddenly be the Amazon warrior of the group.
Yeah.
There has to be an explanation for why this character personality did 180 beyond, oh, she just got pissed off. Well, no,
Mm-hmm.
there's if you personality traits are certain ways because real personalities work that way. Um, then I do a Forbidden Words Past. Had been that then. This, like, just very, actually, really, nearly, witch, stare, growl, blink, shrug, nod, sigh, shout, yell, exclaim.
Okay.
I have a huge list of, and another thing that I do when I'm listening to it is I listen for repeater words, because my brain loops. Now that I have brain damage, my brain will loop and I'll end up with the same word like 5 or 6 times on the same page.
Yeah.
So,
Redundancy, Department of Redundancy. Yeah.
yes, yes, very much. I go through and I check for the dreaded said. And I call it the dreaded said because when I first started writing, I used said for everything. Everything. And I started going through and plucking it out and replacing it with action tags, and that was part of my learning curve when I was learning to reuse language after my stroke. Um,
Yeah.
I go through step 12 is I actually go through and I ch- equalize my chapters, because OCD Goldberg
Oh,
likes
like,
chapter links to be very close, 500 words or something within each other. Then 13 is I do phrases, I do the chapter headings. 14 is I actually do a triple grammar pass. I will run it through 3 different grammar checkers. Um, and then 15 is when I go through and I do final format verification. Do a basic for now. This is not the print formatting. This is just a formatting to send out to my beta readers, and I will listen to the entire book again in
mm-hmm.
another different voice to see all the changes, and then it goes to my beta readers. And it's
Right.
excessive, and it's over. It's everybody's like, why do you do this over and over and over again? I said, because my brain
Well,
needs to work that way.
I do the same, but I'm not as methodical about it. Um, I just like condense it. Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten into this as well. Um, because horror likes their sentences short and choppy. So, and trying to pack as much punch into your sentence as possible, right? So you
Yeah.
don't have the three-piece sentence. You have like one section that encompasses the three-piece sentence in a more
And
concise method.
and see, sci-fi fantasy is just the opposite. They want the long
They want the
and
long
on
language.
sentences. And I go through and I break them up into more consistent sentences. I do do this, but I like my fancy words, like
I like my
appreciative,
fancy words
apoplectic.
too.
But sadly, the average reader grade level is 6th grade now.
Yeah. And I kind of have come to the realization that my readers, I have faith in my readers, like
Yeah.
my readers tend to be 40 or over, and they are voracious, and I'm like, yeah, I can't find the tutorial video, so you might need to add that to the end cards or to comments. Yeah.
It might be one of them that I pulled out. Somebody's here. Hold on.
Okay. But yeah, let's see. 2 devs, 1 round of critique, 2 rounds of edits. Oh, I don't count like editing twice in a row to be more than 1 revision. Line edits, listening edits. My first revision is usually, did I hit the beats? My second is like my developmental flow. My third is betas, and then third is editor, fourth is betas, and I go to a developmental editor because that's my weak spot.
Yeah, sorry, my neighbor needed to borrow some eggs.
Oh.
Yes, that farm life. Yeah, Sam says she can't find the video. I think I might have pulled it down. I think I did it during a writing stream, which I've started pulling all of my old writing streams down just because I don't want to be one of the people contributing to the AI data center things, because anything that hasn't been viewed in a year, I have started pulling down.
I might go in and start pulling down my streams as well.
Yeah, it's a thing. 2 in a row, usually broken down a specific thing. The first round line edits is a flow, moving lines, paragraphs, a round to make sense. The second round is specifically looking for overused words and repetitive phrases.
Mm-hmm. I should make a list of all the stuff that I look for when I'm self-editing.
Yeah, it's and everybody's like I know I had so many books when I first started, like when I decided that I was going to start publishing. I got so many books on self-editing, and I just couldn't find a system that worked for me. And there are people who, like a certain giant community, MML writing community around here, that they get grumpy when you say that their founder's system doesn't work for you. So I just try to avoid them now. But it's a weird thing. Everybody's brain functions differently, and not all these perfect systems. They don't work. It's like everybody makes jokes about the Stephen King writing system. Get a couple thousand words in before you even have a cup of coffee. No. if I don't have my seeped seeds, there's not going to be a couple thousand words. Yeah, Heather, she's got 4 steps condensed down from 8. I was often getting bogged down doing too many to-dos and yeah.
Yeah.
For my blog post, I write it and then I do like
A once
2
over.
passes and
Yeah.
then it goes up because
I
if I
do the two over, 2 once overs and
yeah,
before I
it's
hit
crazy.
publish.
All right. Let's see. We've
And
got
make sure it flows right and is yeah.
yeah. All right. Question 3. This will yeah. What is your favorite part of being a writer?
I actually have to think about this one. The fast drafting is I don't call it fast drafting because I'm not that fast, but the drafting stage is probably my favorite, or the outlining stage, the early stages when I'm just figuring out everything before writing. Send it to me. $75. Drafting stage is definitely her fave. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's the world building. I love the world building. I love running amok in the world that I am building and like, ooh, look at this. Ooh, I make jokes that like my plots look like tourist brochures. And it's because let's go, let's go over to this place and let's go to this place and ooh, 18,000 square foot room where you can skate around and shoot at each other with paintballs. Yeah, I want to do that too. 2,000-foot cliff. This you get to stand and look down at the river in the bottom. Yes, I want to go there too. And
Yeah.
yeah, systems that are flexible for the win.
Yep.
100%. 100% on that.
100%.
Yeah, no, I like the world building. I make jokes about having to stop world building to start writing. It's not a joke.
I have a friend who has aphantasia, and so super logical brain, doesn't visualize, just writes what is logical. And it's skating off a cliff with paintballs. Hilarious. I'm at the alpha. I'm in the first revision / alpha stage. I have asked people who are not writers but read the genre that I'm writing, and then people who write the genre that I'm writing and also read it. And I was like, this is my first romance. Like, I want to know that it tracks as a romance first, and then like when I work in the midpoint and it actually turns into a horror book. I'm yeah, I've got one more alpha, maybe 2. With the balloons.
Well, we're celebrating you changing phases.
I'm going to get gay ready for publishing with a week and a half. Woof! Just need to work with the beta feedback and do the last look and hearing it. Yeah. Party for the phases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very interesting how people think, like the non-writerly people and like some brand new writers that just, as soon as you write the book, you grammar pass the book, you publish the book.
Every
And it's like,
time I write the end,
no.
I have a celebration of some kind. Usually food and drink, like I'll get a little fancier than usual, or
Yeah.
I'll make a blanket fort, or you know. So I
I
don't go to the extent of a party, but because it's a one person celebration, but
yeah.
I wrote
I
the
I
end.
yeah. I have a psychological aversion to the end. I think that's why I end up with these books that are 7 books, for these series that are like 6 books, 7 books, 14 books, 18
So a
books long.
novella just like,
Because it's like, and even the Huntsman's Hope, which is currently the last book of the Relic of Time War, says the end question mark. Because it's like my brain is like, okay, now we can write the Schism War, and now we can do this, and now we can do that, and I'm like, no, other projects, so many other projects. Stop. I hate that
uh,
feeling of finding something you've missed. Lol. Found 3 things, and I'm no hero, and I'm like, there will be a second edition, just not right now. Yeah.
yeah.
This is another thing, is how many times do you just finally push your old books? Did you stop going over the ones that you're done with?
If it's published, period. I call it done. I've done the 4 phases. Uh, I spent the money on the editor for it. Like it's good. And um yeah.
I think that my flatmate has finally realized just how much work I do. They've been off for a week, and I've had been twice as hard at it getting AA ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband has seen me go over and over and over, and I will tell him literally, "I'm sorry, you just have to sit here and listen to me blah about this because I need to work this out in my brain." And it's like and he's never read any of my books, but I don't. Everyone's like, "Oh, why hasn't he read your books?" And I'm like, "Well, because he's listened to me talk about them to the point
Where he's heard
that
the
that
books.
he does
Yeah.
not need to read the books."
Yeah.
I need to be more methodical in the future, but yeah, you have to do you, boo.
You do
You have
you,
to
boo.
work around your brain,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But yeah, world building is my first favorite thing, and um, my
Hi,
precious,
Morgan.
my precious, my precious, holding, touching the final printed copy. That's my I can't say the drugs, but yeah, that's my
Mm-hmm.
that's my thing.
That was uh my life goal at one point when I got Hope's Chest in print. I was just like life goal achieved, and took pictures and had a little party and all of those things. We're building and map making and floor plans. Yeah.
Yeah, map building is one of those funny things. Like I do that. That's part of my first. That's part of my first thing that I do. But then you have to go back and adjust the map. You have to go back and tweak the map and things, and make sure that everything isn't a left turn from every place else, because then you're just going in a big circle. And when I'm doing real world places, I will literally go Google Earth Street View.
Yes, me too.
And just walk around the place. I actually did Google Earth Street View well enough for Servants of the Moon that people were like, "Oh, when you were in Nova Scotia, did you go to this place?" And I was like, "What is that place? Wait, did I see that place on Street View?" Because people are like, "Were you here? When did you come here?" Because I used the Street View and I walked all around it. So when the characters are doing things, they're literally, like there's a hiking trail along the Black River Lake that I talk about that people are like, "Oh, that's such a nice," and it's like, yeah, I've never been there. Never been there. Just on it's on my what is it, bucket list. I think writing that first zero draft flows. It's the thing that keeps me coming back. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, formatting the map. Getting Amazon to take a map. They sigh, they moan, they cry. Yeah, I have tons of maps for Relic of Time War that I could never get to work in the books. All right. Yes. I also think that, and I'm going to say this, I think one of my favorite things about being a writer is getting to beta read for other writers, because it feels like the trust when someone says, "I want to make you the godparent of my child." It's like that kind of level of trust thing. It's like, yes, would you watch over my baby? Would you check my
would you but I have them basically tell me what's wrong with it. Like, that's what I request of my beta reader.
It's I grew up with it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to write a book. Because what was it we were talking about? TDM and I were talking about this, about how some people do not see things as triggers that other people see as triggers. Some people don't see things as offensive that other people see as offensive. Some people don't see things, as cultural appropriation that other people are like, and it's weird that, those are all negative things. But then there's things like, "Ooh, I love this," that they're like, "I don't know about this scene." And then you're like, "I love this scene so much. I need like 3 more pages of this scene."
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you, Sam. I need to know the deal with the squirrels. I need to know why. I need it. Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to. Hi, Miranda. I'd literally be lost without floor plans and character flags. Yeah, I move. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I was beta reading one book and I pointed out to the author that literally, why is everyone standing and looking out the window? You've got like 10 people crowded around. I mean, is this a big window? Is it like a bay window? What, like everyone in the room is like clustered around this one little tiny window. Percy is the deal with the squirrels. It is his evil plan. I still need that seed. Morgan says, I don't think I've ever made a floor plan for a book.
I did so for my graphic novels because I needed to know where the characters were in the space and how they interact with the, like, if I take a picture of them, or uh if I am on the floor level and taking a picture of them, what is in the background, you know? Like, the floor plan was so helpful,
Yeah.
as
I
was the dud sheets. And
yeah,
sometimes,
I
go
have
ahead.
I have I have towns laid out, Pagosa Cliffs, because it's a combination of Pagosa Springs and Ouray. I literally have maps like overlapped and drawn out. I have the inside of the Wild and Enemy Bakery sketched out, um, because you have to know where it's a hard setting that's in 8 books. So I have to know where things are, like where the tables are, where the counter is, where the coffee machine is, where things are in um, the back end of the bakery. Which, if you've never been in the back end of a commercial bakery, you don't know how much stuff is back there. There's so much stuff. And you can't just say, oh, well, I've got this thing in there and this thing in there, because you have to have commercial refrigerators, commercial freezers. You have to have you have to have a refrigeration case for finished product and in process product. You have to have, like, um, realize this, but having a fondant roller or pastry roller machine, oh my gosh, those are wonderful. They save you so much work. Um, but they are big, they take up space. Um, so you have to have this awareness of where things are, because you don't want to have like too much stuff crammed. You have all these things listed, and then you don't physically have the space in the room you're putting them in for these things. But that's OCD goal brain for you. Yeah. Hi. Um,
Yeah. How long do you think we're going to?
we're gonna finish up pretty soon, because I've got to get ready to take TDM to the airport. She because I can't drive,
Mm-hmm.
because of vertigo brain. She actually flew out here, drove to see the bio mom, the grandmother, with us, and helped hubby drive back, because it's a 17-hour drive to get down there.
Oh, woof.
Yeah. And I can't fly. They're like, every time they put me on a plane, that's like, okay, if she dies on the plane, it's not our fault because of the thing in my brain.
Uh,
So I've moved a lot, like 50 times. I used to know the layout of a wet or has a, yeah. Heather says, I had to make floor plans for my novel, as I needed to make sure that it would make sense for my MC to walk when she needed in order to find. Yeah. Yeah. Miranda says, me too. My coffee shop and other buildings have floor plans. 2 of my series, I have the village maps. One of my hometown, and the other one from the third is a map of the camp. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So it's long. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Mapping is one of those weird things that, I do it as part of my world building process, because I am very spatial and I need to know where things are. There's a lot of authors who they map at the end of their process. Um, there used to be a program, I don't know if it's still up and running. Sam did a tutorial on this called Encarta,
Encarta. Yeah.
um, where that was what she was using to make maps. I I do a lot of I map in Minecraft. I know that sounds like a crazy thing, but like my brain likes the cubes, and I will map in Minecraft. I make maps and Encarta the areas. Then I do house layouts on paper. Nice. All right. Okay. Do you want to do your outro?
I
Sako?
suppose I could. Hello, folks. I am Sako Toomey, otherwise known as Cass Voight. I write horror under the name Cass Voight. And I am published 6 times over. Half of them are self-published novel slash novel novella things. I average about 75K a book. You can find me on the Googles as Sako Toomey or Psycho Sako. And please to be dropping a line. I would love to hear from you.
Oh, sorry, I am updating the stream description.
Oh, okay.
And thank you for joining us today, lovelies. I am Mama Maggie Ward, independent author, stroke survivor, migraine overcomer, one of the more prolific authors you've never heard of. We have gone through a couple of different things today, just talking about stuff. Please like and comment the stream. Breaking the block. We try to be here every Sunday, but life is life. So we rotate around. Sometimes we're on Sam's channel. Sometimes we're on Rachel's channel. Sometimes we're on my channel. We hop around there's a bunch of us, but spring has been busy this year. And the 2020s every year it's like that annoying younger sibling that wants to be more dramatic than their older siblings. And it's like, just stop. Yeah, no. But we are happy to be here to help you with your questions. If you think of a question, please feel free to come by, drop it on the stream, drop it on one of the chats, and we will be happy to see you next week. Be blessed.